I was about to marry the perfect man until I met his ex the day before our wedding. I thought I'd finally found the man who'd end my string of heartbreaks. Days before the wedding, he accepted a job offer without telling me and started planning a cross-country move. I didn't think much of it until his ex showed up on our doorstep and revealed a life-changing secret. I twisted the engagement ring on my finger, watching the diamond catch the light. While Daniel flipped pancakes with the kind of flourish you'd expect from someone hosting a cooking show. The smell of butter sizzling in the pan mixed with fresh coffee, and everything felt perfect. This is it, Maya, I thought. This is what safety feels like. If only I'd known then that Daniel was keeping a secret that would turn both our lives upside down. Daniel slid 2 perfect pancakes onto my plate, his smile wide and easy. He was already talking, the way he always did when he got excited. I can't wait to start our new life together. Just the two of us, babe. No more drama, and no more chaos. He took the seat across from me and raised his coffee mug. To new beginnings. I lifted my mug to meet his, mirroring his grin. Talking about new beginnings, I said, cutting into my pancakes. I got the promotion. They told me yesterday. I waited for the congratulations, the hug, the excitement. Instead, Daniel's smile dimmed. He sighed softly and set his fork down. I'm happy for you, Maya. You deserve it, really. He cleared his throat. But actually, I have some news too. I accepted a job in Seattle. We'll be moving right after the honeymoon. My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. When did you get a job offer in Seattle? And why didn't you tell me? Quote, it was really sudden. They headhunted me. I got the call last week and interviewed with them this past Monday. I didn't want to say anything until I knew for sure. He reached across the table and took my hand, kissing my knuckles. Please don't be mad at me, babe. I looked into his eyes. His distress seemed sincere. I just can't believe you didn't tell me about any of this. I was hoping to surprise you. Just think how great it will be to start fresh in a new city. I'm sorry about your job. He continued, but why don't you ask if you can work remotely? Your boss lets you work from home all the time. I think she'd be open to it. I didn't want to argue, but this was the second time he'd made a massive decision without even asking me. The first had been picking our wedding venue without showing me the options. Although He leaned back and gave me a little smile. This job does come with a higher salary. You wouldn't have to work. We can start a family sooner than we'd thought. Really? He nodded. Maybe as soon as next year. I smiled so hard my cheeks ached. Daniel might have acted without consulting me, but his heart was in the right place, and that's what mattered most. The next morning, I met my best friend, Tara, at our usual coffee spot. When I told her Daniel and I would be moving to Seattle, her eyebrows climbed toward her hairline. Wait, back up. You're moving? He accepted the job before talking to you? She stirred her latte aggressively. What about your promotion? I heard myself defending him before I'd even decided to. He wants to take care of us. They've offered him a great package. And that means we can start thinking about kids. And I'm going to discuss the possibility of working remotely with my boss on Monday. Tara looked at me for a long moment. When she spoke, her words came out measured and careful. Just make sure it's not a shove when you think it's a push. The words hung between us. I felt them land somewhere deep in my chest, settling next to all the other uncomfortable feelings I'd been ignoring. But I changed the subject to her dating life. 20 minutes later, I left early, brushing off the discomfort like crumbs from my lap. That night, the apartment was dim except for the blue glow of Daniel's phone. I came out of the bedroom and found him on the couch, scrolling with abnormal intensity. When he noticed me standing there, he flipped the screen over so fast it was almost comical. What are you looking at? I sat down beside him. He waved a hand dismissively. Just work. The new job's already blowing up my inbox. Then he shifted, pulling me down next to him and wrapping an arm around my shoulders. I can't wait for our honeymoon, he sighed, pressing a kiss to the top of my head. No phones, no emails. No one but us. I laughed. You mean, like, metaphorically? Because you make it sound like they're going to lock our phones away when we check in. Daniel grinned. Nothing that dramatic, but this place is deep in the woods, babe. There's no Wi-Fi, and barely any cell service. What? I'd known the honeymoon would be rustic, sure, but not that we'd be cut off from everything for a whole 2 weeks. He started stroking my arm, his voice warm and soothing. It's perfect, Maya. We get to disconnect entirely and just be together. After the wedding, nothing else matters. I smiled along, but my thoughts were racing now, connecting dots I didn't want to see, the move I hadn't agreed to, and the off-grid honeymoon. Big decisions he'd made for me, not with me. It was framed as love, wrapped up in pretty words about fresh starts, promises of starting a family and taking care of me. But something in my gut whispered that everything about it was wrong. The day before the wedding, I was alone in the apartment, folding table linens for the reception, when a knock echoed through the hallway. I opened the door to find a tired-looking woman standing there. She was holding the hands of two small children, a boy and a girl, both staring at their shoes. Instead of saying hello or introducing herself, the woman just asked, "I'm here to see Daniel." "Is he home?" I frowned. "Who are you, and why do you want to see him?" Quote, the woman shook her head, and a bitter laugh escaped her throat. "He didn't tell you?" She looked me straight in the eye. "I'm his ex-wife, Claire. And these are his kids." That. I leaned against the doorframe and shook my head. "That can't be right." Quote, but Claire was already pulling folded papers from her purse, her fingers trembling slightly as she held them out. "He owes tens of thousands in child support. He's been in contempt for months. That's why I'm here." I stared at the documents. Court orders, missed payments, dates going back 2 years. I was struggling to process the words, but it all looked undeniably official. "I'm sorry for showing up like this," Claire said, her voice tight. "But I heard from a friend that Daniel was planning to move away." I felt I had to try one last time, for my kid's sake. "He never told me he was married before," I whispered. "Never mentioned kids either." Claire gave me a tight, sad smile. "He lies like he breathes." And just like that, everything clicked into place. The new job across the country, the off-grid honeymoon where no one could reach us, and the speed with which he'd put his phone away that night. It all made sense now. He wasn't starting over with me, he was running away. Claire hunched her shoulders. "I just want what's owed to me. To my kids. I don't care if I never see him again, but he has responsibilities." I opened the door wider. "Let's talk, just you and me." Quote, I made coffee while the kids sat quietly at the table, coloring on the backs of old envelopes I found in a drawer. Claire watched me warily, like I might explode at any second. "You're not mad at me?" "No, I'm mad at him." I set her coffee down and leaned against the counter. "Want to get even?" She frowned quizzically at me. What did you have in mind? Hours later, Daniel walked into the apartment humming some song from the radio. He stopped cold in the doorway. I sat at the kitchen table and watched his jaw drop as he took in the empty shelves where his rare vinyl collection should have been. The missing TV, the missing drone case, and the missing paintings. Maya, were we robbed? He asked, voice cracking. I calmly shook my head. Then what the hell happened? He demanded, his face going red. Claire stopped by with your kids, I said evenly. She had some paperwork for you. Claire? His gaze darted around the room. Whatever she told you was a lie. She's just trying to ruin this. She's unstable, Maya. You can't believe anything she says. I saw the legal documents, Daniel. I cut him off. You haven't paid child support for 2 years. And you were going to move me across the country so you could disappear. His eyes went wide. I was going to tell you. After the wedding. I just needed time to figure it out. I shook my head. You're out of time. I gestured to the empty shelves, the gaps where his precious things used to be. I gave Claire the most valuable things you own. Everything she can sell if you don't pay her in full within a week. I crossed my arms. Your options are simple. You can pay her what you owe, or let her sell it all and take legal action. Daniel's voice rose, cracking at the edges. You had no right to do that. Those are my things. I had every right. I was going to be your wife. Instead, I'll be your karma. I picked up my suitcase. Goodbye, Daniel.